Okay guys, here's a follow-up to my last video, which was a review of the Auto Art 1/18th scale Mad Max Interceptor from the very first movie. Well, here is the Greenlight version of that same car. Surprisingly, it took forever for the Mad Max 1 car to be made by one manufacturer and to have two announce on the same day independently that they're both releasing the same car was amazing. Now Auto Art did beat Greenlight to the sales floor, but Auto Art also had a pre-existing mold. This apparently is a all-new mold by Greenlight, so I don't know if it's actually a die that they used from another manufacturer that already had these L118 Falcon bodies available and then added the pieces that they wanted. As there are two manufacturers that do make these XA/BC Falcon coupe bodies, Classic Collectibles and Beyonce, both of Australia. Beyonce is tied in with Auto Art. I don't know if Classics is tied in with any major diecast manufacturer or if they do it all on their own. I'm not really sure of that. But in any case, this is the Greenlight version. As you can see, contrast from the Auto Art box was just a plain black box. This has the last of the V8 Interceptors. Adult collectible 1/18th limited edition. Limited to what? No one knows. Haven't heard any production numbers. Don't know if this model is serialized in any way. I haven't even opened it out of the box yet. It says Greenlight Collectibles Hollywood. I'll roll it over on its side so you can see this is a window box as opposed to the solid cardboard box. 1973 Ford Falcon Xb. They did get this information right. Originally in the pre-release they had it as a 72, which would not have been an XB at all. XBs did not first release till 73 in the real world, so it couldn't have been a 72, but they did get it right by the time it was released. Now, some of the early 1/64 scale stuff did come out on blister card with 1972. That has since been corrected, so anybody that has those first run cars, you may want to hold on to that card that it came on, because it may actually be worth something, if they're worth anything at all. Show you the rest of the box. There's some artwork on this box showing, looks like the Road Warrior motif, as it's dirt, which didn't exist in the original Mad Max, but you know, you let the little things like that go. It is box art after all. It is something more to look at than what was on the Auto Art box. But there you go. Bottom side of the box. Roll it over. Greenlight Collectibles. There's the web address. These are readily available at most major diecast outlets, as opposed to the Auto Art, which was, I paid like $180 for. This model retails, I paid $65. I've seen them anywhere from $50 on up. I wouldn't pay more than $70. because you can get them just about anywhere for that. Maybe even less, as I said. But don't get ripped off, just like the other ones. You know, you see these on eBay. Some people think that they're just preying on people being dumb and jumping at it. And also on eBay, just for a quick tip, if you see a surprisingly low price, check the shipping costs. A lot of these places and people will advertise an extremely low price on the product and then screw you on the shipping. You'll find out that most times it equals out the ones that are charging you what the model actually costs and offer free shipping. So be mindful of that. Watch their ratings, you know, so you know you're dealing with somebody who's not going to rip you off. The worst thing is trying to get into a hobby or being in the hobby and somebody taking advantage of somebody. Nothing lets the wind out of you faster than that. But anyway, let's get into this model. I'll pull it out of the box. I'm going to set the camera down so I don't make everybody seasick. And we'll see what we got. Okay. So, here's what we have. First impressions, it doesn't look bad. The paint may not be as nice as the auto art version. There is a little bit of orange peel I was seeing in some of this, but you know, as on many models, I mean, it's pretty damn close. I will have a side-by-side comparison to the auto art coming up later in another video, but I just wanted to show what what this model itself looks like by itself. As you can see, this one does not have, as the auto art did, the heated rear windscreen, as the Aussies would call it. The side of the car doesn't look bad. I am noticing that, as you can see here, it does actually have the Maintain Right badge, and it does have the MFP. So this is probably a licensed version. Now, as you look here, there is a big gap at the front where this wheel sits. So in my opinion, it sits too high in the front. The zoomies don't look bad. We'll roll the car over. The detailing isn't half bad. Now this is a non-hood opening model. The trunk does not open. The doors do open, apparently. But yes, there is a serial number here too. So let's try and get that in focus if at all possible. If you can't read that, it says 01278. So I'm assuming, maybe rightly or wrongly so, that there will be at least 99,999 of these possibly made. Not really limited when it's that many, but who knows what they'll do. Now apparently these doors do open. We'll see how well they open. Check out our interior detail. Doesn't look half bad. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's the blue beacon. It does have the red blower switch. Switch over to the driver's side. Steering wheel looks correct. I do not see a decal in the center of the horn button, but you probably wouldn't be able to see it even if it was there. Now, they did get that detail correct. They have the two-tone side marker. that was a unique feature on these Falcons, was that the side marker is two-tone, amber and red. Now the red part of it is just a reflector. The amber part actually does light with the turn signal. It does not light at night when the car is going down the road, so there is no side marker in the dark. US cars at that time did have those markers, and they did light up the side of the car as a safety feature. Interesting side note of these Falcons is that the backup lamps, as you can see by the back of this car, there are no clear backup lamps. The backup lamps actually work through the turn signal lenses, so you had amber backup lamps. How well those work, that's debatable. Also, another odd feature I found on my own full-size car was that there are no four-way flasher warning lamps on the car. So if you have a problem, you have a problem. But anyway, this isn't a bad looking model. Like I said, the hood does not open. The trunk does not open. Trunk not opening isn't a big deal because there really ain't much to see there anyway as far as referencing with the film. Let's see, did they get... Yes, they do have the RVS radio in the roof, as you can see. The blower shape, the Scott hat is all there. It looks pretty well. They did get the back. It looks like they even got the back correct. That is a flat plate. The movie had a flat plate. There was no bearing cover back there. That was one big tip to anybody that was a hot rodder, to know that that blower was pure movie magic. That when he pulled that switch, it was not adding any boost or power to the car at all. It was surely there just for visuals. That style of blower, roots type blower, you really, unless you have two completely different fuel and air systems, will not work. You shut off that blower and it shuts off the motor. It chokes the air out. Nothing's getting through it. The movie car, the real movie car, that blower sat on a mount above a carburetor that was mounted below it. When you activated the switch, it turned on a air conditioner pump, which actuated the clutch. It would spin, the belt would make the noise that you hear, not actually the blower. Several guys have made their own cars, full-size cars, and I know this is the case. I've seen them in person, and they sound just like the movie car. In fact, this car, I may be incorrect, but I believe a friend of mine's car may have been used in the modeling process for this. So a good bit of the input may have come from him and his version of the car that he built. Here's the front end. Looks fairly well to me. They got the paint, and then I see the pinstriping is evident on the back quarter panel. I don't see it as much along the rocker and the front fender. Again, is that a big deal? Maybe if you're going for absolute accuracy, but keep in mind, this is a $70 model versus the Auto Art $180 model. So you could basically buy 3 of these for the price of one Auto Art. Now, that said, Auto Art model does have an opening hood, so you have engine detail. If that's important, then get the Auto Art. If you're on a budget and you want a Mad Max car in an 18 scale, I don't see why this wouldn't be a good buy. Again, it's all going to be up to what your tastes are and what your preferences are. I bought both cars. I'm not unhappy with this purchase at all. For somebody who can't, and it's a ton of money. to buy the auto art, this should be great. Most people aren't going to display it with the hood open anyway. So you got it sitting on the shelf. It looks the part. It looks accurate. As far as I can tell, the proportions look pretty good. When I get these cars side by side, we'll know a lot more, and we'll see what we have then. But if you want to get a Mad Max car, this is definitely an option. Just don't get ripped off. As with any cars that you buy, if you're a diecast collector, just watch the prices. Some of the stuff is just insane what some people are trying to get for them for no real good reason, in my opinion, other than they're willing to charge it to see if somebody out there is willing to pay it. So just be smart, happy collecting, and I'll see you on the next video.